is hit this 3 times. Y'all see what I gotta deal with, right? Hit the gas for him a couple times. What's up, everybody? I'm back with another video. You know I gotta always do my little how-tos and all that. So today I am going to change the oil and the oil filter and the fuel filters on my truck. Okay, so if you own I think they're the same from 11 through 16, 6.7. It might be earlier years too, but I'm sure it's 11 through 16. Mine is a 2012 F350 Super Duty, and I called around, and the cheapest quote that I could find was $305 to do the oil change and the fuel filter change. I don't believe it should be that much, and I think when you learn how to do things yourself, you tend to make things a little more affordable for yourself. So here's one of the fuel filters. This is the one that goes right here under the hood. This one here. Okay. And then this is the one that goes under the truck. Comes in a kit. Both of these were $85 for the kit for both fuel filters. So this is an element that goes inside the bowl underneath the truck, and I'll show you guys that later. But this is the second fuel filter and the O-ring. Okay, so that's $85. And just to give you an idea, that's the first one. That's the one that I just showed you that goes under the hood, okay? You unhook these two connections right here. You twist it a quarter turn. You pull it out. You put the new one in, twist it back a quarter turn, put the connections back in. I mean, that's literally how easy it is. So I'm always a fan of doing my own work as long as I know what I'm doing and understand, you know, everything about doing the job. So I'm going to share with you guys what I do and how easy it is to maintain. Also, this truck takes 13, well, the manufacturers say 13.1 quarts of oil, which is just over 3 gallons. So 3 gallons and 1 quart. So I bought 12 gallons, or I'm sorry, 16 gallons of oil. Okay, 16 quarts of oil. So I bought 4 gallons of oil. So I'll have some left over when I'm done. These are the ones that I bought right here. And that guy there, that's the oil filter. Okay. So you don't need very many tools. You need a 16 millimeter socket. I'll explain. I'll put all that stuff on the screen so it'll be easier to remember what you need. But I'm gonna get started here. I'm gonna try to put on my head, put my GoPro on my head to try to give you some step-by-step. Once I'm under the truck, it's a little hard to keep my GoPro orientated because when I'm laying flat, then it tends to want to turn and do all that. But I will share with you step-by-step what I'm doing. But this is an easy job. Don't let it get you overwhelmed. Just watch what I do and you can do the same with yours. Be back in a minute. Okay, so you see I went and put my trusty gloves on, and to remove the bowl from under the truck, you need a 32 millimeter socket. Those are some pretty big sockets that the normal person wouldn't have in their toolbox, but they're not expensive. And I think you can go to like Lowe's or like a hardware store and buy one socket at a time if that's what you choose to do. Myself, because I'm always working on my own stuff, I have a whole set. So this is my 32. Okay, so you can actually buy these one at a time. So if you don't have a need for a set with a really big socket, just get the ones you need and save yourself the expense. I'd rather buy the whole set because I'm liable to work on anything at any time. This is a pretty big, this is a 3/4 drive, and I don't have a 3/4 ratchet. Actually, I have a 3/4 inch breaker bar, but I don't need all that. So put an adapter on there. Goes from a half, if you can see that, to a 3/4. So I just stick that on my 1/2 inch drive socket. Put the socket onto the adapter onto the socket. Let's see, sorry about the camera shape. And that's what it looks like. So I got my trusty creeper down here. I'm gonna jump on that right quick. First I got to get my drain pan. So whenever you, that looks ugly. Okay, so after a little bit of elbow grease, some brake parts cleaner, and a little bit of time, a couple minutes, got my drain pan clean. Okay, so going under my truck, I'm on my creeper now, and I can fit under here as long as I don't go under the step. So this is the fuel filter. Okay, you have the drain cock here, which is yellow, and then you have the connector here, which is the water sensor. So you disconnect this, you open this so it can drain, and that's why I have my drain pan here. And then once that's done, the 32mm socket goes here, and you screw this whole thing off, and that little paper filler, that little paper filter is in there. So let me get this done and I'll show you guys what's happening. So you can see, all you got to do, there's a little tab up here. You press, pull that off, and then you open the petcock to drain the water and excess fuel out of here. Let's see. So that is fuel coming out of there. That's fuel and water. Once that sensor recognizes that there's water in the fuel or excess water in the fuel, that's when you'll get the notification on the dash. So let that drain out. Okay, so I got the bowl off. This is what it looks like when it comes off, and it's still got the filter in it. Okay, so as you can see, so I'm gonna pull that. See that filter just come out of there? Now what you want to do is, if you got a dirty bowl, clean it. If it's just got fuel in it or whatever and all that, just wipe it out a little bit and use some of that brake parts cleaner like that to clean all up in here, and you know, just make sure things are nice and water free. Okay, get all the little fuel, and then you can see that green O-ring up there. You pull that off, get a pick or something, and get that off of there and slide the new O-ring in its place. Put the new paper filter back in the bowl and mount it back up like that and twist it back on. Okay, so that's what I'm about to do right now, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm using my little pick here to get up under that O-ring and pull it out of there like that. It's as simple as that. Okay, and then with the new O-ring, you just want to get a light layer of diesel fuel on it. So I'm going to use just gonna dab my fingertips into there and just kind of rub it around this O-ring and put it right back where I found it. Just slide it up onto that top little piece where it fits in this and then I'm gonna screw. I've already put the filter back in the bowl. So the filter is back in the bowl. You got a big opening and a small opening on the bottom side, and the small opening goes into the bowl because there's some little things that grab it and you just snap it into place, and then you put it back up like this once you got the O-ring on it and twist it till it's tight. Okay, so I'll be back in a second. So the new O-ring is in place. I screwed the bowl back on, put the electrical connection back on, tightened up the petcock, make sure it's not leaking, wiped up everything around it. This part is done. So without me having to stop and pick up the camera and do all that, this whole thing would have took maybe 5 minutes. So moving to the fuel filter on top, and make sure you get some towels or, you know, shop towels or something to put under these lines when you take them off. Pretty simple to get them off. Okay, and I've already taken it off and drained some of the fuel. It may still be some residual leaking, but pretty simple. I just use my same pick, and you can use something else, just anything to push the tab in. Okay, so you push this tab in like that and pull. Okay, and it's as simple as that. This one is a little different. And once that's up, so you squeeze a little tab and you pull up on the green thing, and then you should be able to just pretty much just pull it right off of there. Okay, so easy enough. As you can see, there's a little bit of residual fuel here, and I'm hoping you guys can see this, but yeah, it's a little hard to see. But at the bottom down here, so you have the top, then at the bottom the two little pieces stick out. You just squeeze them together and pull up on this so it can release. As far as changing the filter, pretty simple. Just give it a quarter turn like so till it's, and then just pull up. There it is. So there is fuel in there, as you can see. So I'll just dump that down in there, and then just take the new filter, stick it in there. There's a little notch here, so you stick it down in there, push down, and turn it back, just like that. Take that one, push it back on, pull a little piece off. Take this one, push it all the way in, and then press down on that. Filter is changed. So all in all, with both filters, the dealer would have charged me $45 to do that. Okay, so it's not even 10 minutes worth of work. Okay, so once you finish changing the filters, you want to come in the truck and you want to access your menus. Let's cut this off. So you have to listen to the blower. See, it says fuel filter change required. You'll keep getting that until you reset it. And then it says, okay, so now we go to fuel. You want to go down to settings, vehicle, scroll down to maintenance, go to fuel filter, and hold OK if fuel filter has been changed. So I'll hold OK. Okay, fuel filter is set to new now. Okay, but what you want to do is you want to cycle the key 6 times because you need to purge any air out of the fuel system. So turn it off, and then you're going to turn it on. You're going to let it run for 30 seconds, turn it back off. Turn it back on, let it run for 30 seconds, turn it back off. Not the engine, just the key. You just want to cycle it on for 30 seconds, off, back on for 30 seconds, off, back on for 30 seconds. And you want to do that 6 times. And then start the vehicle. And from there, you won't have any air in the fuel system. Alrighty, so that's what I'm going to do right now. So now I have cycled the key 6 times. So now I'm going to get out and check for any leaks. No leaks there. And then getting up under. Doesn't appear to be any leaks there either. So everything looks good. Fuel pressure is under full pressure, and there's no leaks. Here we go. Here's my filter wrench. Okay, I usually have more than one type. I have the band type also, but for whatever reason, it's escaping me. So 16mm socket, filter wrench, some brake clean just to clean up a little bit, and a little bit of time. That's it. So let me show you how this is done. What I see a lot of guys like on YouTube and stuff like that that are showing you oil changes with these trucks. I've been changing oil. I'm not a mechanic, but I've been changing oil on big rigs, my own cars, everything. But when it comes to these diesels, I think the easiest thing to do when changing a filter before you screw it off, get you a hammer and a Phillips head screwdriver or something with a point. And what you do is you poke a hole in the bottom of the filter, and then you let it drain like that. Because if you just screw it off without doing that, the thing is full of oil, and a lot of times you'll drop it, it'll spill, it'll, make a big mess. So just take a Phillips head screwdriver, stick it in the bottom or maybe somewhere low on the side, preferably the bottom, because that way it'll just drop straight down. Be ready to catch it with your drain pan. Just hammer it in a way, just to poke a nice hole in it, pull the screwdriver out, let it drain until you see no more oil drain, or till it's down to a trickle. And once it's down to a trickle, you can screw it off without no splatter, no mess. All right, so I'm finna get up under here and do this right now. So as you can see, I poked a hole in the bottom and it's draining out. So the oil filter will be empty when I pull it out. And this is the easiest way to do it, is less mess. And when you screw it off, you don't get all this oil dribbling down your arm and all that. So just a little tip, for those of you that may have never done this, or those of you that have done this and just didn't think about it. So I'll just let this drain for a little bit. And once this slows down to a trickle, I'll screw it off. No mess. Alrighty, see you in a minute. Okay, so I just screwed the filter off. As you can see, no spill. Okay, it's still leaking out of the bottom, but no spill. So now I can just take this without no muss, no fuss, and I could just lay it down in there. No splash, no big deal. So now I'm gonna clean all this up, make sure the gasket is not on there and everything. And then I'm screwing, take a little thin layer, take some of this oil and put it on the gasket of the new filter. Just rub some on and then screw it right back up. Okay, so I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit and screw the new filter on. So as you can see, I have the drain pan plus my catch pan, because once this oil start gushing out of here, when I take this plug out, you know, it can overshoot and get all over the place. So I always take the extra precaution and put my catch pan under the drain pan. Okay, so I'm finna take the plug out and let the oil drain. See you in a minute. Okay, so now you can see the oil is down to a dribble. So at this point, I can screw the drain plug back in, and let's see. Just put it in here just to stop the oil from leaking. And then I'll take a rag and get the little excess from around it right there, and then screw this all the way in. Okay, clean up around that real good. Yeah. Take the take the socket. Never over tighten on a drain plug. Don't take, I think this is like 89 inch-pounds, but just snug it down good and it won't leak. So that's about good right there. So oil filter is changed, oil is drained. Now I come from up under the truck to go pour the oil back in. All right, so let me get from under here and I'll see you in a minute. So as you can see, the only oil that I spilled outside of the oil pan was what you see there. And what you see there. Looking up under the truck, no oil whatsoever. No fuel, no oil, no drops, no nothing. So you can do this at home without making a huge mess. Okay, so you can see my catch pan, the drain pan, and a little bit of patience and common sense, and you can do this without making a big mess. So now it's time to pour the oil back into the truck. So I got a big boy funnel. Okay, so this big huge one, and I also have a small funnel like that one for smaller jobs. I mostly use the small one on the Mustang, but the big one is just to make sure, because the grill of this truck is almost up to my chest, as you can see. So, you know, it's pretty, you know, it comes up to here on me. So reaching way back there can really be, you know, it can get strenuous while you're waiting for the oil to go into the truck. So having a big oil funnel like that, having a big funnel like that will actually make your life a lot easier, and give you more room to spill and everything. Now this does take, let me put this on my head. As I said, 13 quarts of oil, but you don't want to just go pouring 13 quarts of oil in without checking it. So what I'll do is I'll put in 2 gallons, and then I'll check it just to make sure, because, you know, it's not like that's the capacity when the system is absolutely dry and nothing else is in it. And when you drain oil, that's just not the case. And then put the cap back on. Okay. And then I'm gonna let the truck run for a minute. Okay. Let the engine run for a minute. And while that's running, I can get up under here and take a look. Make sure I'm not leaking anything. Everything seems to be good, no leaks so far. But I'm gonna let it run for a little while. And while it's running, I'm gonna get this old oil, pour it back into these empty containers. That way I can take it and go legally have it disposed of. Okay, so I'll take care of that while the truck is running, and I'll see y'all in a minute. Okay, so I've let the truck run for about 15 minutes. As you can see, I got all the oil out, poured back into the containers. I did spill a little bit right here. So that's how much oil I got on the ground from this entire process. As you can see, my drain pan is over here. Got it all wiped out, ready for the next use. You may not care to wipe yours out, that's fine. So let's check the oil. I want to give it a chance to sit for a few minutes so it can drain back down, so I can see exactly where it's at. Okay, so it looks like it's right at the add line. So I will get some more poured in here to bring it back up to the full, and we will be good to go. Looks full. Let's check it one more time. And it did take all 13 quarts. Let's check that one more time, just to be on the safe side. Oh, wait a minute. Guess it can take a little more. I'm gonna check that one more time. Oh no, it's full. It is full. Great. Okay, so we are good to go. That is the entire process of the oil change and fuel filter change. Get this back in there. There is one more step, because you do have to reset the gauge on the inside. And I'll show you that right quick. And reset this. Okay. So, see how it's saying change oil soon? See, engine change soon. Okay, so what you do is you scroll down to use your buttons, and you scroll down to settings, hit OK, go to vehicle, hit OK, go down to oil life reset, hit OK, and then it says hold OK to reset oil life, hold OK. Oil life is set to new, and now you're back. I like to keep mine on fuel economy just so I can see how much fuel I'm burning. But now when you start up the truck, it won't give you the engine oil life message anymore. Engine oil change. So now it just says trailer connected and doors ajar, and it goes back to the home screen. So that's how easy it is to change oil and fuel filters on a 6.7 liter diesel. Mine is a 2012. The procedure may slightly differ from, you know, from a period of years to from one to the next, but all the procedures are really easy. I'm gonna post this. I hope you guys like it. Share if you have any comments. If there's anything that you see that I could have did differently that would have made this job easier, I can always learn, so I'm always good with that. Share this video. If it helped you, subscribe. Help me out. I need all the support I can get, and I appreciate you guys for watching. I'm going to be changing I already changed the headlight assembly on my 05 Chrysler 300, and I'm going to upload that video too. So, you know, if you know somebody that need help doing certain things, hey, point them toward me. Maybe I can help. And I have other content on my channel, as cooking and messing with my Mustang and doing political work and, you know, community activism and all that. So my channel is about a little bit of everything. Appreciate y'all for watching. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Help your boy out. The society is in the house, man, and I'm always here to help. See you in a minute.